What is good, everyone? This is the Common Critic. We are here ready to discuss Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, the much anticipated to some people, sequel of the first Black Panther. The much anticipated for those who were very curious on how they were going to write out Chadwick Boseman, but nonetheless, the sequel to the first Black Panther. You two weren't very excited for this, were you? No. Yeah.
Came in with very low expectations.
Which may play to your benefit. I don't know. We haven't discussed it, but I think I texted you guys. I said, you guys might have low enough expectations where you may come out pleasantly surprised. I don't know how low those expectations were, but...
They were very low.
Very low.
They were very low expectations. Nothing about any of the trailers or anything got me excited to see this movie.
The only reason I went and saw it is because we had to for the pod. We had to do it for the podcast.
Yeah. We did have to do it for the podcast.
If it wasn't for the pod, I would have waited.
Excited. Until it came out on Disney Plus or whatever.
Yeah, I would have waited till it came out on Disney Plus if it wasn't for the pod.
I was excited for Namor because he in like the comics, he's a huge character. He was in the very first Marvel comic ever. I believe it was Namor versus the Fantastic Four. He's a big part. Looked awesome, and I think that's what mostly I was so curious on what they were going to do with Chadwick Boseman. I'm like, I gotta know how they do this. Like, it was driving me nuts because it's like, how do you respectfully write out such a big actor like that? So I think that's what was really driving me.
You don't do it.
You don't. You just forget about him forever.
No, you just don't make a Black Panther 2.
Yeah, I think
with Cody on that one.
They made like $1 billion on the first one, or whatever. Yeah, they're not gonna just ignore it.
The first one was a dang good movie. I enjoyed the first one. There's a few cringy moments in the first one, but for the most part, I enjoyed the first one.
It was decent. I say it's mid Marvel for me.
Oh, I thought you were saying mid as in like the Twitter term for decent. I thought you were getting some young man lingo in there.
Yeah, Cody's hip with the lingo, bro.
I did say mid.
It's mid.
Oh man,
it's mid.
Mid. Well, let's get into scores. Dallas.
I'm 25. What are you talking about?
The bar. Yeah, 25. There we go.
You're younger than me now, Code?
Youngest on the pod?
Yeah.
Oh.
All right,
Dallas, set the bar. Get into it.
This is the lowest score I've ever gone for the most boring movie I've ever seen, and the only movie I've ever considered leaving the theater for. So for that, I'm going to give it a 0.5 out of 10.
No way, man. I can't even post this. What are you doing to us? That legitimately made me so nervous.
I was so bored. So bored.
Worth it or not, now?
Oh my god. Oh, I doubt a 0.5 is worth it.
Nothing about that movie was worth it. Except for maybe the Killmonger scene. That's the only reason it gets a 0.5. Was bringing Michael B. Jordan back for a second. Yeah. Michael B. Jordan was the only good part of that whole movie. And it was like a 4-minute clip. So.
All right.
Do with that what you will.
This is going to be... I don't think I'm mentally prepared enough for this podcast enough.
Well, hold on to your bootstraps.
Here comes Cody with the 0.6.
I don't even know what to give it. I felt like it was just trash the whole time. It wasn't good. I did not like it. It was pretty bad. I think this killed my love for Marvel and for MCU movies. I looked at Dallas while we were watching it. I said, I think I'm done with MCU. I don't think I want to watch it anymore. It's just terrible. I didn't like it.
Unfortunately, I'm going to force you to continue to
I know.
watch Marvel for the sake of
I know, for the pod. For the pod.
For the pod.
I will not be excited like I used to be. I used to be excited for every Marvel movie. But now I'm just like, not excited. But I'm going to give it, I'll give it a 1. And not worth it.
Oh my gosh, you guys. Oh my gosh, you guys.
It was so bad.
Why you guys set me up like this?
It was so
What do you
bad.
mean?
You guys are telling me
It
there are
is
movies
worse
like
than Wonder Woman 84.
Wonder Woman 1984.
Yes, me
X-Men
and Cody discussed
Apocalypse.
this. Yes, I would much rather watch either one of those.
Yep. They have redeeming
Those
quality.
I literally can't.
Their
imagine
action scenes were better in both those movies. It is a comic book movie. I go there for the action, not the 3 hours of bullcrap dialogue that didn't enhance anything.
that. Oh my gosh.
/
Oh my
going
gosh.
to
I don't even
12
wanna
different
talk.
countries
And the ocean. Don't forget the ocean.
in the
It
ocean.
makes,
We had
it
to.
makes sure it's the ocean. Ocean.
Brandon, you have no clue. I literally was sitting next to Cody last night, and I was like, I'm about to text Brandon. I'm so mad right now. But I was like, no, I'm going to save it for the
Oh,
pod.
man.
We're going to save it for
I'm
the
glad
pod.
you did save it. I'm glad you did save it.
Me,
You didn't
me
need
and
to save
Dallas broke our rules. We talked during the movie because we were so bored. We were trying to keep each other awake, and we were on the phone for a minute. We broke our cardinal rule. Brendan looks so defeated.
He's so
Like I don't even want to talk. I haven't even said anything.
I know.
Okay.
Here,
My
me and
stuff
Cody,
of everything
me and Cody just did 8 minutes of trash in the thing. So you go and tell us why you gave it your score.
I'm tempted to lie for the sake of the podcast.
Don't do it.
I am
Just
tempted
integrity.
to pretend
Integrity.
that the things that bothered me don't bother me.
Right?
I'll get into it.
Be
I'll get into
truthful. What's wrong?
I'll get into it. There are 3 big things that bothered me. One, probably about a half hour too long. Half hour, 45 minutes.
Hour.
2, playing off the first one. It's choppy, which was a big critique of mine for the first movie. I felt that way with the first movie. A bunch of different places all the time. They're going all, and it was fast. It was like, we're in this place. No, we're in this place. No, now we're in this place. That's the same critique I gave. And then the third one is Riri Williams. 1 is awful. 2 she was treated like a MacGuffin, like a plot device, rather than a character. Which, if you're going to bring in a character named Ironheart that has her whole thing based off Iron Man, who is arguably the most beloved MCU character, you have got to do way better than that.
Yep.
So there's other things. Those are probably the 3 big things. For me, I'm going to do my little cheating thing. I'll go with 6.9. And we can argue all we want. I am baffled. You guys, worse than 1984, worse than X-Men Apocalypse, worse than Captain Marvel.
Yep.
I don't see it because we'll see it. We'll get into it. But the beginning, I thought started off so strong. I think the way they wrote out Chadwick Boseman and the way they kind of played off his character a little bit, I thought was fantastic, because that is essentially what happened to him in real life. They talk about him waiting too long, and by then it was too late. That's what happened. It didn't feel like they wrote out Black Panther. It felt like they were telling the story of Chadwick Boseman. And I thought, this movie's starting off strong.
I was fine with the beginning. The beginning was fine, and then I loved the whole tribute, like how they usually do all of the comics into the Marvel Studios, and it was just Chadwick, Black Panther. That was the first, 15 minutes, however long the duration was. That was fine by me. And then just so bored. I was just waiting and waiting.
I understand
waiting
because I am on record on the pod. I'm different than most people. I am different than probably 99% of people that go see movies because I am more interested in the character than the storylines. I'm on record saying that many a time.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a strong story. But I see characters a little differently. I think there was great acting. And I think there's new characters in this in the sense of you could think of Wakanda and I'm going to butcher this, Talokan as characters, right? I think that's a way of fleshing it out. And I think building on my sense of characteristics and whatnot, I think that's why I was able. I'm not going to argue with you guys on story, almost at all. You guys can have that, right? But for me, I enjoyed character moments.
I didn't care about the other ocean. Like, it didn't make me care about the ocean tribe, whatever you want to call it, Namor, and I don't want to butcher it either. I can't think. Whatever.
Talokan, I think.
Talokan.
Yeah, Talokan.
Yeah. I didn't feel anything for it. I don't know, the way they portrayed it, like you said, it was choppy. I never really got into for me, the character development, even though they had 3 hours to develop character, never happened. Only thing that was redeeming, and the only reason I gave it a 1 is I think Angela Bassett did a really good job.
Sorry.
So I agree with you. Angela Bassett did do a great job.
She did really well. But
well, of course, it's Angela Bassett.
Yeah, but I didn't care about Namor.
I loved Namor, man. Namor is a big reason I liked this.
The little wings on the feet and
that's
Hermes.
Classic, dude. That's classic.
It's terrible. It's just
okay. So you're not arguing with the movie. You're arguing with Stan Lee's first ever superhero. Is what you're arguing with.
Yep. Trash.
No, man. Namor's great.
No, I never. I didn't know about Namor, so
I was
and
very
that's
much
and so I didn't have any expectation as far as the bad guy is or all anything like that. And then I don't know. It was just all mediocre to me, and so much dialogue. Oh my heavens, the dialogue! It's just
I give you that.
Way too much dialogue. It didn't lead into anything that would have felt like. And then when we got some action, it wasn't good. Like the big fight scene at the end with the action, it was too choppy again between each fight, and it was short and short-lived, and it ended real quick. And he basically just knelt and said, "Okay, I give up." Whatever. Which I don't know. By that point, I was checked out. My brain was tired. So.
The ending pissed me off also. Just end the movie. There was like 6 scenes that they could have technically like ended the movie on. And then there was another one. And another one. And another one. It was like like what they usually do at the end of the credits. And then they just another. Like I was just like, but that's how like the whole movie felt. It just kept like 45 minutes too long, and they probably like if they cut half the scenes that they kept doing that for, it might have made the movie more enjoyable. But it just felt like the whole movie, everything just kept going. And I was like, get to the end, please.
Okay, Brandon.
I agree with you guys. Like I said,
try to convince us.
I'm sorry, Brandon.
No, you're good.
Look, like it so much.
30 to 45 minutes too long. There is a lot of stuff you could cut. When they go get Riri, that whole scene, you could cut. Get rid of all of it. Right? Easily. Cody, I want to go back. I let you guys talk because I know I talk a lot. You said there's not much character development. I would argue differently in the sense that you're taking a very beloved character and now you gotta kind of put that effort into somebody else. I really enjoyed Shuri's journey for the most part. Like I said, there's like that going and getting Riri you could have cut out, right? But she's at this point where we could call her, the oddball of the family because she doesn't believe or play along in the traditions of Wakanda. She's very much sucked in and stuck to her technology. And now when her family's dropping off like flies, right, which the Black Panther from the first movie is built up almost as a spiritual position, right? It's very much the tradition of how are you going to take this girl who is opposing the traditions, who wants to be stuck in her technology, and now put her in that position. And it leads up, I think, very well to Dallas. You said probably my favorite scene in the whole movie is when Killmonger comes back and we get Michael B. Jordan, and there's this great moment where you're all like, all right, is Shuri going to follow along the lines of her brother T'Challa or her, what is it, technically uncle? I think Killmonger, right? And I think that's great because you're all like, she could go either way. Is she gonna? No, you can't. No, I'm just kidding. Go for it.
Well, I was just saying, right at that moment, though, I leaned to Dallas. You remember what I said, Dallas?
Yep.
I called it 100%. I knew exactly what was going to happen. I leaned over to Dallas. I said, this and this and this is going to happen. And that's exactly what happened. So for me,
what did you say exactly?
It was what happened was she was going to die or get stabbed or get hurt. And then she was going to, see her, either her mother or Chadwick Boseman to see Black Panther. And she was going to not kill him and, go the way that, superheroes go. I mean, it's just, it was too predictable for me. That's why I checked out. I wasn't, so to your point, the character development and saying it can go either way. I didn't feel it. I predicted it. So it wasn't too, I guess for me, it didn't feel maybe as,
well, I mean, you could say it's predictable, but there still is development there that's what I'm arguing, right?
Oh, okay.
Of course, they're not going to kill off Namor because I think Namor's too valuable of a name. I mean, when you're saying the first ever Stan Lee comic, there's no way you kill him off in the Black Panther sequel, especially such a great performance. I saw this tweet on Twitter. Someone was like, whenever Namor was talking, he was spitting bars. When he was talking, I was listening. I really liked his performance. I like what they did with him. Angela Bassett, again, did a really good job. Like, I think she was very powerful in the sense that her family, she is the queen of the most powerful nation on the planet, and yet all of her family is dying. How do you deal with that? What do you do? How do you continue to lead when you have these issues, right?
Yeah.
The sad thing is really apart from Namor, Queen Ramonda, and Shuri, other characters were just so useless, right?
Yeah.
Now, luckily for me, those three were very strong for the most part, and I did see Wakanda and Talokan as characters in of themselves in this movie.
Yeah.
But these are some of the positives that come to mind when I think of it. Again, me being more of a character over story person, which again, 99.9% of people are going to disagree with me on that. But it's also why I could go into movies like this and maybe have a better time. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I
think.
Go ahead, Al.
I'm just on Brandon's point. I get what you're saying. I guess for me, besides the Queen, like Shuri and Namor fell flat for me the whole movie. Nothing that they were doing pulled me in and made me want to like them. Because I mean, how many villains are there in the MCU that we love or not love, but you're so drawn?
I don't even think Namor's a villain. I don't see him as a villain at all.
For this movie purposes, I mean, he does
attack
Wakanda, and for the sake of, I'm not saying a villain in general. I'm saying for the purpose of this movie,
like an antagonist, basically.
Yeah,
antagonist rather than villain.
Yeah. He never drew me in. He never most antagonists in movies, you almost you can empathize with them or you can feel their side and be like, oh, maybe I would root for this guy if, on the viewpoints and everything. I wasn't rooting for either side because of it. I was like, you can both kill each other. That'd be I mean, that would be completely weird and crazy. Maybe I would enjoy this movie more.
Yeah, and then for Syria to take the mantle of the Black Panther fell flat for me as well.
Everyone saw it coming.
Right, and that
They
just
tried to build it up as a mystery. It's like everyone knows what's coming.
Well, I think I would have gone a completely different way. Not that I had any ideas going into it, what I would do or anything like that, but after watching it, I think we needed more Killmonger. He was an actually good antagonist.
I said this after the first Black Panther. They shouldn't have killed Killmonger, man.
Yeah.
You don't let someone like Michael B. Jordan die.
No.
That was the biggest mistake Marvel did. Seriously.
Yeah.
I would agree with that 100%.
I don't know how, heck, maybe the blip brought him back or something. I don't know. You should have figured out a way to bring Killmonger.
You could have even had, well, okay, think of this. I mean, you could have had Shuri figure out the Black Panther formula 45 minutes into the movie or whatever. And the whole time she's basically like seeing Michael B. Jordan like in that spirit world or
nice.
You know what I mean? And then you have like an hour like, and she's basically like kind of turning more towards like Killmonger. So she's basically the antagonist and going after whatever. I don't know. But then you have Michael B. Jordan into more of the movie and you could do something that way. I would have been much more interested in that, I think.
Yeah.
So he was too
more of a character arc for her.
Yeah. I'm just saying, I feel bad for the director, man. That's a hard position to be in. I mean, how do you, I mean, that's why I say you shouldn't even, I understand there's money there, but I don't know. You just leave it alone.
Well, there is like a sort of tribute feeling for me, at least, where
it was too much.
I feel like if maybe it was too much, right? But I don't know if I would have felt like you're doing Chadwick Boseman justice. He loved Black Panther. He loved playing the character. And the last we see of him at Iron Man's funeral after that, and then you just leave him out. Like, what's more disrespectful to Chadwick Boseman, to have a movie like this, or to just drop a line in the next Avengers movie on why Black Panther isn't there?
Yeah. Why can't you do
respect the character he loves?
Why can't you do the opening scene to this movie at the start of the next?
That might be a good point, right? That might be a good point, right? You could just take what, like I said, great opening scene, very strong, powerful, great. Have the tribute with the Marvel thing and everything. But I don't know. Maybe it was too late.
Maybe.
I know I've said this like a million times. I think it's my strongest building point in the sense that these countries are now characters, and you guys say you don't feel anything towards Namor. I think the reason why I liked him, and I like Shuri because of Wakanda being a character, Talcon being a character, is they're kind of meant to mirror each other a little bit, right? I think the reason you're supposed to feel for Talcon, they have this potential of being exposed, and they're nervous and they're scared because the last time something like that happened, they saw, when he went back up to the surface world to bury his mom, he saw these atrocities going on. So I think they've always lived in that sort of fear and whatnot, and they want to live this peaceful lifestyle you're meant to see. When they go to the city, they're just normal people, and I think there's that mirroring of, I don't think it necessarily happened in Wakanda, and I for sure do not want to get into slave talks on this podcast, but I think there's meant to be mirroring amongst that, right? I don't know if it's deeper or whatnot, right? But I think that's why I was more drawn into the characters, because I saw these parallels, at least for me.
So you don't want to talk about colonizers and chains?
No, I do not want to talk about the latest bad jokes by Marvel.
Woo! Swing and a miss. But anyway.
I know, and why you even, bring back his character or anything, and
Anyway,
Julia Louis-Dreyfus has a purple streak in her hair now, and there's another thing that you cut, right? See?
Yeah, I was kind of hoping a little bit more from her, just because I was kind of that part of the story and this phase of the MCU is kind of intriguing to me with her and whatnot. But she was short lived, nothing really there. So, and it just again, this seemed too choppy, and I like the beginning part where they paid tribute, but it felt like that same mood and that same feeling of the movie lasted an hour. Like they were trying not to get into the story fast so they could, if that makes sense, like that same kind of tone of the movies this stayed. There was no, rise or fall in watching it. It was just kind of that same somber mood for like at least an hour. It felt like. Maybe it's because me and Dallas watched it twice. Our movie actually froze. For the first time in my life, the movie froze in the theater.
Are you serious? At what point did it freeze?
Right as the Queen walks into the United Nations thing.
Yeah.
That's right when it froze.
So
then they restarted it.
So like what, the first 20-ish minutes maybe?
Yeah, about a half hour.
First 20, yeah. And then they...
Which I would agree with you guys on the action, right?
Yeah.
Very little, very poor action. But the scene where they're... I would say the two standout scenes for action are when they're stopping the robbery at their outpost, and then the introduction of keep wanting to call them Atlanteans, but they're not. When the people of Talokan are raiding the boat.
Yeah.
I thought that boat scene was actually awesome. Like a great introduction. Right? There's almost this horror.
Yeah. If they would have stayed there, that's the thing. They went from there to series fight to... There was another one too. It went between three things. What was the other one? It was the boat, Theory, and Namor, and then there was another thing that was going on. I can't remember.
I think the thing. Well, after that is when they go to get Riri from, where is she? MIT or something. Right, and there's that big chase scene.
Oh yeah.
Again, chase scene.
Yeah,
it was okay.
Not a good chase scene.
Whole thing could be cut. Right? Yeah, you didn't even need to bring in Riri as a character. Oh, there's some scientist that created this horrible device. All right, let it be some random dude. Just let it be some random whoever. Right? Yeah. Make up a new character.
It almost
doesn't need to be anyone.
Yeah. It almost upset me to hear the Iron Man sounds coming out of that machine. It almost like
the arc reactor sort of sound.
Yeah. Made me, it deterred me. I was just kind of like, no.
Well, I think this is now the second time. Look, this is now the second time that Marvel's been caught doing this. Actually, it's probably more than that, but this time and America Chavez in Multiverse of Madness. This is now another time where it's all like, oh, I'm good because the writing says I'm good.
Yeah.
I believe in myself. It's bullcrap reasons. Oh, my dad was a mechanic, so I could build an Iron Man suit.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
I think we as Marvel fans have come to expect more effort in becoming a hero. I think we were spoiled with Captain America.
Yeah.
Right? Iron Man.
A
lot of other ones too. Ant-Man. Right?
Yeah,
Ant-Man is more deserving of being a hero.
Oh.
We were spoiled for 11 years.
We took for granted how great Marvel was.
Yes, we did. Yes.
Marvel was just, oh my gosh. How many movies did we list at the movie theater yesterday while watching Black Panther? Like, I think I'd rather watch like Thor: Dark World. like mid-movie, we were saying this.
Dallas
listing the word.
Ridiculous.
Wonder Woman 84. I said, yeah.
I did say Wonder Woman 84 in the movie theater.
At least it has Pedro Pascal.
Too much, man.
Love Pedro Pascal. Pedro should have been.
Love Pedro.
He should have been Namor. If Pedro was Namor, it would have been like an 8.
No way, dude. I'm not familiar with this actor. I looked up his IMDb. He has done some big things. I'm not familiar with him, but I'm very excited to see more. Right?
No.
For me, I want to see him more. Yes, absolutely. For me, Namor was like the standout, especially the actor.
She pulled off his little wings. He can't fly anymore. He's done.
Man, why can't those grow back, man? He's fine. He's a god.
His little butterflies.
I can't believe that's the thing that bothers you that much. That is a classic character design, man. And especially when you first meet Namor, when he comes out of the water at Wakanda, and he's like, "My mother told me of a place like this." And then he's like, "My army outnumbers the amount of," what does he say? "I have more in my army than you have blades of grass in your country." These are reasons I like Namor. And I like his performance. I think he's very demanding on screen. If I'm in the minority on this podcast, that's fine. But that's something I'm not going to budge on, is Namor. He has to have everything else. I'm not going to have that.
I think he needed more like a physical presence. I needed him either ripped or like big for me to be like take him seriously. I think him just like looking like a normal dude with pointy ears and little wingies made me not take him as serious.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was just something about him the whole time. I'm like,
it's like a baby in a diaper or something.
The Marvel source material purists are really going to come after us.
Hey, don't listen. I mean, if Stan Lee was drawing that, I would have been like, no, stop. That's terrible. Do it again. But you know what?
Another reason why I like him is
Stanley's the man, so he could probably tell me to go get bent. So
look, this is like Stanley's original work, man.
I
There's
know.
one thing I'm not going to allow the ghost of Stan Lee haunt my house for crapping all over Namor. Look, so in the comic, he is Atlantean, right? But I think Marvel, I know they took it in a different direction because they didn't want too many comparisons with Aquaman, so they made this sort of Mayan feel, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I love that feel. I love the look, this Mesoamerica sort of almost jaded jewelry type thing. I love everything about it, man. Yeah, nothing off the top of my head negative to say about Namor or City or anything.
All right.
I think him himself made for some at least more interesting fights when they're first beginning to raid Wakanda and the water is coming in and you really see what's the right word to use? The perils of it, right? Because you have a country that you're assuming is unattackable, right? And people are peaceful, they're chilling, and then this great tragedy, this devastation comes. The queen dies, right? I'm assuming other people die. We haven't even talked about M'Baku, by the way. M'Baku, very little screen time needed, much more screen time. Really great.
Yes, love M'Baku.
M'Baku was great. M'Baku should have been.
But I loved the. Yeah.
And what's her name?
I may agree with you on that.
I forgot her name. What's her name?
Who?
From Walking Dead. What's her name?
Who played
the warrior
girlfriend?
No, she's good. I like her too.
Oh,
the main warrior, who gets banished.
Oh, the general.
Yeah, Okoye. Okoye.
Yeah, she's. I like her. I liked her scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I like.
Oh yeah.
I like the scene after the car chase where she fought one of the guys or four of the guys. She did really good. I like that. But I didn't like the suit that she built.
The power suit was wasted. Well, and it was wasted too. They foreshadow it at the start, and then you got like one scene with each of them in it, and it didn't seem like it had made them any better.
Yeah,
and then it was a completely wasted thing to foreshadow, like, oh, look at this suit, and that's another thing that pissed me off. But
well, the thing that really obsessed me about the suit, besides the look, which is probably one of the worst designs I've ever seen Marvel do, Okoye doesn't need a suit like that. I think, especially on the bridge scene when she takes on the four warriors, I think that in of itself proves that she doesn't need a suit, right? Yeah. Okoye is a badass in of herself.
Yeah.
And stick to it.
Oh, yeah.
Right? No, she is a great character. T'Challa's girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, wife, baby mama, whatever you want to call her. Yeah. I'm impartial. It's whatever.
I didn't like her in the first, so I wasn't.
I didn't like her in the first either. Yeah.
I wasn't hyped when they brought her back. Yeah.
I forgot she even existed.
Yeah.
like completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was a very
Now, that
forgettable
being
character
said,
in the first.
it made for a decent mid-credit scene, right? I think it's nice that, you know, T'Challa has blood out there,
Yeah.
right? But okay, for one, let me get to that. That was way too long for a mid-credit scene, and two, that's the only thing you're gonna give us? Come on, man! I sat through the rest of those credits. I had to pee so bad. You're gonna make me sit through that?
Yeah. We left right after that. It was too long. We're like, we're done. We're
like,
gone.
I don't care. We're done with Marvel at this point.
So you guys keep saying you're done with Marvel. It's till Quantumania, and that's what I was going to ask. I was going to say, did the Ant-Man trailer do anything for you guys? Bill Murray? I mean,
yeah.
No.
I'm always happy to see Bill Murray.
It did absolutely nothing. I said this to Cody in the theater when we watched the trailer. He's like, "Oh, like," I was like, "I'm not excited for that. That doesn't draw me in the slightest."
I just like Paul Rudd, so I'm excited for Paul Rudd.
Love Paul Rudd.
I like.
Here's something
I think I'm sick of seeing Paul Rudd as Ant-Man. I don't know why. I think I'm over it.
I think like hardly been in anything.
I think Marvel is just everything that they've done. There's since Endgame. I think I've liked one or two things.
And those two things must obviously be Spider-Man and Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
I like Loki.
Yeah. Loki was okay.
Loki, WandaVision, Hawkeye.
Oh, yeah.
These were good.
Yeah, I forgot about WandaVision. I didn't like Hawkeye that much.
I didn't like Hawkeye either.
I didn't like Moon Knight.
I liked Moon Knight, again, for the character. I like Hawkeye because it was a little more low-key. She-Hulk was honestly one of the worst things I've ever watched. I only put myself through that because I was promised Daredevil was in it. And he was in it. But look, I want to point something out to you guys that I noticed in the trailers, right? And I'm sure a lot of people listening probably got this in the trailers too. Devotion, right? Glenn Powell coming back in a fighter movie, right? With Jonathan Majors, okay? Trailer for Creed 3. Michael B. Jordan with Jonathan Majors. Then we get Ant-Man Quantumania. Ant-Man against Kang. Jonathan Majors. This is a great up-and-coming actor who is now supposed to be the next sort of big bad in Marvel. We saw him in Loki, right, in the last episode. I love him as an actor. I think he's really great. I think we've seen him in very little, but I think he's very promising. And I think that's probably another big draw for me to continue with Marvel is I think Kang's going to be a very interesting character played by a great actor. So I thought it was interesting that there were essentially three of his movies that we watched trailers for before this.
Yeah. I just hope they surprise me. Let's just put it that way. I hope I'm pleasantly surprised with this ended the phase 4, right? Isn't this ended phase 4?
I think so.
If I remember right. So hopefully they surprise me in phase 5. But I'm not holding my breath right now because their track record is becoming less and less impressive for me.
I think the next Marvel project we get is actually the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. I don't know.
I'm excited for that.
Trailer for that.
I mean, I love Kevin Bacon,
I know.
so I can't. He's one of my favorite actors.
You know, Drax and Mantis kidnapping Kevin Bacon to bring to Star-Lord, that's going to be difficult to pass up.
Yeah, I'll watch it. Yeah.
I will watch that.
But Quantumania is next. That's coming up in February. We're getting some other shows. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 comes out next year. Always a big fan of Guardians of the Galaxy. Some other TV shows. Loki's coming out. They leaked the trailer for Loki 3 got leaked. I watched it in horrible quality. Looks interesting. We're talking about the future of Marvel when we should be discussing the present, right? I've made my peace. I feel like everything I wanted to get out, I got out. You guys definitely threw me for a loop, and my head was spinning and
Anybody's
lightheaded, but
score change? Dallas,
I'm
Brennan?
not changing, man. I'll go 6-9. I don't even want to bring up the average score.
What is the average
Please.
score?
Look at it.
Yeah, look it up.
You guys make me do things I don't want to do.
Hey, you made us go watch Black
You
Panther.
can't do it. You guys have to change. You guys
Nope.
have to change.
Nope.
There's no way I
What
could
is it?
post this
What is it?
online.
What is it?
There's no way
What
I
is
could post it.
Yes, you can.
What is it?
2.8.
Yes.
2.8.
Perfect.
There's no way. There's no way we could
Why?
do that.
Yes,
Why?
there is.
Oh my god.
We gotta let
Why?
the
We
people
did it
know.
for Wonder Woman.
We have to let the people know.
We did it for Wonder Woman.
Oh man. Oh,
And not
man.
worth it.
Our viewership
Not-
has been so far
Two-
down.
2.8.
Yeah,
Not worth it.
2 against 3.
Why?
Not worth it.
What? Why would our viewership go down? Because we speak the truth about
Yes.
a terrible movie.
We are for the
Oh
common man.
man. Yeah, and I see all the audience scores, and our score isn't very close. But everyone's
Are
had their
people
piece.
actually enjoying this movie, or do they feel like they have to say they enjoyed the movie?
Now, I saw it with 5 other guys, and look, we weren't saying this is the greatest Marvel movie. We weren't even saying we'd probably go see it again. But none of us were going below a 5.
But shame, because it's terrible.
Oh man. Well, I'm on record. As long as my glowing reputation is kept intact, I don't care what happens to you two.
That's good. I want to let everyone
just-
know.
I will die
I've
on
been
this
telling
hill.
everyone.
No,
I've
this
been
is why
telling
we do it. Yes.
everyone how bad this movie is.
I need the two of you to log into your own Instagrams, and if any comments come after you, I won't be using our official Instagram to defend you guys.
Please come at me. Please.
Bring it on.
Please try and
Shout out your Instagram
try and
handles.
defend this
Yeah, no, I'm
movie
just
to me.
Well, if that's it, that concludes our podcast at a 2.8. Not worth it. But anyways, hey, shout out to our sponsor, Bill at Bob Ammo. Yes, billetbobammo.com. Get 10% extra ammo until the end of the year on all ammo orders. We just had a huge flash sale. Sign up, saying R, like I'm a part of it. I don't know. Sign up for their newsletter. They are our sponsor. That's what I'm trying to get at. And shout out to Bill at Bob Ammo. All right,
Yes,
guys.
thank you.
I'll wash my hands of this and catch you all next time.
Peace.
Peace, boys.